Hi, happy Friday. So I just wanted to jump on and quickly read I'm going to be starting at page 56 and reading from chapter 4. And I'm just going to read a couple paragraphs here, but the theme in the opening of chapter 4 is really about how extraordinary you are. And also within that, how because we're surrounded by everyone we know is has won the same absolutely improbable lottery of being born into this level of consciousness and this experience. And so um there's a lot that comes later in the book, but just as a foundation that it's sometimes when I hear people say you are enough, I think God, it's really not that you're enough, it's that you're extraordinary. Um and we have this bright, brief, burning life in our bodies is whatever this particular version of this experience is. It's just absolutely if you kind of stare out into the cosmos, you just get this moment. You can really start to tap into just the splendor of what you are. I think that's one of the things that happens in those moments of awe. So anyway, once again, I'm reading from being it's a Friday. I don't know when you'll be watching this. It's a Friday for me, at around lunchtime. And my commitment to read this and get through this book in a year, read it cover to cover live, remains. The resolve remains, and I thank you for being along for the ride and watching. It really um, just it means a lot to me, and and it means a lot to me that you find what's in here valuable as I share in that experience as well. But anyway, so I'm just gonna do this my intention is to make this relatively quick and then head out and run some errands. But so I'm just gonna do a little reading here, starting with your mother. Your mother was born with about 1 million eggs. Of those, between 300 to 400 are released over her lifetime, but only one became the foundation of your body. The egg that determined half of your biological source code encountered millions of spermatozoa in the marathon of fertilization. Now consider the lines of your forebearers reaching back eons before recorded time. You are the outcome of the lives of a vast network of ancestors. So many babies were born, grew up, and had babies themselves for you to be here. They are part of your story, and you are their legacy. Perhaps this moment, the one you're in right now, feels mundane. Nonetheless, the circumstances that made it possible, every force that conspired for your body to be here now, are cosmically and mathematically improbable. Yet here you are. You may think that if you don't remember something, you can't trust that it matters. It's a good point, and one I discuss in this chapter. The present day state of your first hub is how it feels to live in your body right now is evidence you can examine. On one hand, it can seem ridiculous to consider birth trauma or an early life so profoundly formative and influential in our adult selves. On the other, we have reflexes and behaviors that operate from programming outside of our conscious control. If we consciously decide we want to do something, that decision should be the final word on the matter. But it isn't. Many self sabotaging behaviors have their origins and are addressable in this hub. If we have anxiety about security or we fear change, even as we crave it, the Have Hub is where we explore a conscious relationship with trust, stability, safety, and boundaries. So, for orientation, The first hub is feet, legs, knees, bum, perineum, the physical boundary of our bodies. So before I read on, just taking a moment to bring your attention to the soles of your feet and the surfaces of the earth that are in contact with your body right now. Maybe it's like your bum on a chair or legs laying out, or maybe you're laying down and listening to this. And just feel into that. See what you can do as far as even like pressing into it or surrendering a bit more, and bring attention to the counterforce that's actually catching you. So the sense that it's like you have this connection with this stability and this solidity that has been consistent throughout your entire life. And part a really incredibly important part of our physical reality is this sense of consistency, because a lot of what upsets it is this sense of a lack of consistency, like anxiety, or that things are unpredictable, which inherently like are, but to settle into the sensation of the first hub is first of all like grounding and feeling the fact that this kind of like the ground like always catches us. I mean, maybe when we fall it like it like hurts a little bit, but that it's always going to be there. It's all, you're never gonna like, and the other part is the physical boundary of our bodies, which is, and so even to take a moment right now, to like even like either rub or even like lightly pat the parameter of your body, and like bring into your consciousness the sense that like everything that you're experiencing is originating from what is inside of you. So every feeling you're having, every sense that you're having is like contained within a physical boundary. Um, and so just take a minute. Let's do like a breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And now on the exhale, let's like settle more into the sense of the ground. So inhale and settle down into the ground. Let's just do one more breath, and when we breathe, like feel how if there's any type of like enlivening in the surface of the body, when you can bring attention to it, or what you can feel, what's numb, whether there's temperature, sensation. But inhale and exhale. So grounding yourself physically and then feeling the boundary that contains you, which is nice. So the first cycle is third trimester through 1 year old. And so, we'll discuss a bit more about what that kind of even physical containment is like in utero. The task of this hub is to claim the sense of boundary and physical security within the body. And this goes back to like what we're talking about with like the sense of ground, the sense of boundary, that these are two sensations that are consistent and really like create comfort to a certain to the extent of things not being overwhelming and like beyond our capacity to like actually feel like that it can all happen within here. And so bringing that sensation in many different ways, which will be discussed throughout here. But the rights of this hub are the right to have and the right to be here. So it's to taking up space, the right for your physical body to be here. Identity. I am what I have. I am my body. I am my physical possessions. These are often really stigmatized. which is also destabilizing. So to not be able to fully um, you identify the fact that your body is a facet of your identity. I mean, and there are folks who, where it's a very important facet, where it's like how, but this is very natural that everybody has the kind of like the facets of themselves that take on greater importance. So, but just being able, allowing yourself to like have like ownership and identity around all facets and all the hubs, but specifically these, which are very interestingly get that can be like stigmatized, like that, being materialistic, but we are material. We're made of material. This experience is happening within like a material phenomenon. So, and the reconciliation is I am physically safe and secure. I feel my physical boundary. So just like, let's do one more breath in and out. I'm just going to read the next paragraph or two, and then I'm going to wrap it up. So, according to developmental biologists, the timing of human birth is when an infant's head can fit through the birth canal. This timing is the result of brain size, not readiness for survival in the world. As a result, we rely on our caretakers for the first year of life in a way that is mostly unprecedented in the natural world. Our infant requirements for survival and the demands placed on our parents are significant. Further complicating matters, the capacity to attend to a child gets disrupted by the stress, illness, and trauma in parents' own lives. And even those with the best familial blueprints of nurture and child rearing cannot control unpredictable external stressors like accidents and illness, which can knock a life out of orbit. The primary needs of a newborn are food, shelter, and nurture. Consistently meeting these early needs is essential for physical survival and for forming a solid physical and psychological foundation. Right now, bring your attention to your feet and notice if they're both planted on the ground. Then notice if you tend to shift in your seat and observe the physical boundary of your body where your skin contacts your clothes in the air. Everything within the skin is you, and it is yours. If the body feels everywhere and nowhere without a clear boundary, focusing on this hub will be helpful. Lightly tapping or gently patting your body helps you to arrive at this moment as you place your feet on the ground. As the foundation and container for your feelings, power, connection, communication, and creative expression, finding physical security within our bodies supports all the hubs. The work of the HAB Hub is to instill the sense of trust, safety, and protection within our bodies. Not everyone has the same access to resources to meet fundamental needs. Understanding our own basic human requirements should enhance the empathy and consciousness that are essential for the actualization and transcendence in the upper hubs, where we learn how to cultivate boundary, ground, and consistency from within ourselves. So, yeah. So the next, I might do a little reading tomorrow because I'm really enjoying reading this. As I mentioned in the last section, this was the first part of the book that I wrote. And so like some of the earliest can like sort of, I guess, insights, like the earliest things that were really sort of I actually am failing to find the word. Um, there was like kind of a geyser of, yeah, it was I guess it would be like insight, or revelations maybe in a way, that came through. And one of them was just the nature of, like the physical grounding. The feet on the earth had a huge impact on me. Like that had like really been, like a moment for me that's very memorable. And the other thing is the extraordinary nature of the phenomenon of your physical existence. and that, that the beginning of being able to have an even deeper appreciation of other people comes from being able to begin with having a profound appreciation of yourself, and that everything emanates or originates from the direct lived experience that we have, and is contrary to, I think, like some you know like sort of popular notions, or common notions, actually, I'd rather put it, is that it's like to have connection to the, like, to be attached to these things like the physical body, to our extraordinariness, is sort of like antithetical to being a really good human being. But I would say that certainly, like, in the experiences of folks who are like in the process with Parinama method, myself, is that this is absolutely the opposite. The greater the appreciation I have, personally here, is like the more deeply I can really start to touch into the importance of this for other people, and like the awe of every human being like representing a phenomenon that is just absolutely extraordinary. So thank you for coming along for the read. I love you so much for taking part in this, and yeah, I'm really wishing you just like a wonderful, like, rest of your day, whether that's like this is the end of it for you or the very beginning. Please like, comments. Thank you, Rachel. It means the world to me every time I see a comment from you. It is like a dopamine, serotonin, like, master fireworks explosion. It makes me so happy. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment, you know, um, and also anything that you have where you want to like weigh in on your thoughts, if you want to expand on something, if there's something you want covered sooner rather than later, or you have questions, I really welcome the opportunity to be able to, like, to make these to for you. So again, thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you next time. All right, bye.